Good evening, it's the Two Wolves in you know where, Utah. And this is the 27th March. And this is today's issue of the Salt Lake Tribune. I had to do a little digging to find it, so this is actually from a website called museum.org, which presents, quote, lost, unquote, front pages of papers once they've expired. But this is from today's Salt Lake Tribune, as seen in newsstands. It's not very often that one finds this kind of sort of blatant disregard for sensibilities of those who are protecting the earth. I mean, look at this. Look at the dichotomy. And these two articles are side by side in the Salt Lake Tribune. My guess is that it's certainly not, well, it's interesting. The census is focusing on the oil boom, triggering growth. The other side of the dichotomy, the other side of the story, under the environment column, oil pipe leaks foul, grand staircase. So this is really interesting. I had to approach these in a different way than I normally would have in terms of reading them. But I'll try to read this to you. Top Roughnecks Mike Brandt of Vernal and Jonathan Joe of Roosevelt work on Pioneer drilling rig about 30 miles south of Vernal in July 2005. The workers work a 12-hour shift for 7 days in a row, then have 7 days off. Above left, George Burnett, owner of Coven and Carno in Vernal, stands in front of his store selling custom seat covers and stickers with pro-drilling slogans. Honk if you love drilling. It's quite small, I'm sorry. Morris Almond, formerly of the Utah Jazz, demonstrates in June 2008 how to shoot a free throw at Altamont High School. That's one of the former Jazz. Vernal's Happy Pink Dinosaur greets visitors in 2005 on Main Street at the east entrance to the city. So I'm going to mirror that story and show you part of it in another form in a moment. But the other story, again, the dark side, oil pipe leaks foul grand staircase. That's the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument here, shown in Google Earth. Here's Utah. And this is the Arizona line, Las Vegas down here, Grand Canyon. So this is really sort of within the same geological region as the Grand Canyon. It's not a national monument one hears about a lot, but it's quite beautiful. So you can go to Google Earth and look at it. Now let's look at this story in greater depth. From the Trib by Brian Maffley, published yesterday. Courtesy photo, hikers. Now there's a picture. We just looked at the Grand Escalante National Monument. Here's a portion of it all destroyed. That's sad. Hikers discovered the remnants of a 4-mile oil slick down Little Valley Wash near Escalante on Saturday. The BLM is now investigating a leak that apparently occurred at the Upper Valley oil field. The BLM says the spill was not reported. Right. And they say that the spill could be years old, but recent floods have moved the oil, causing additional damage. I don't know what floods they're talking about. We're having a drought. I'm not aware of any floods. The Bureau of Land Management's Utah State Office, which administers the monument, sent a team to examine the leak Wednesday, a day after receiving photographs from hikers who discovered oil damage over a 4-mile stretch of Little Valley Wash. The spill, which may have occurred years ago, is the second time in as many years officials have looked into oil escaping the Upper Valley oil field operated by Citation Oil and Gas Corporation. The hikers took several photographs on Saturday of the wash's sandstone walls, sandy beds. You can come and look at the pictures here. And areas where water flows over rocks or small ledges, all covered with a black substance. The oil appears to have been flushed down the wash months ago, but the photographs were the first time BLM was alerted to the problem, according to agency spokesman Megan Crandall. BLM State Office dispatched a petroleum engineer and other inspectors to the site on Wednesday. Again, here's the photo gallery. Hikers, now, this is obviously connected to the oil industry. Crandall went on to say, we are putting the people in place to get our hands around it. Around what? This pipe? Around the problem? Are they going to get their hands around the oil? Until we have an idea of what we are dealing with, it's difficult to know what's going on, Crandall said. We can't be on every acre all the time. No. Again, we can't be on every acre all the time. It's important for folks to let us know. But late Wednesday, she learned from the field team that the oil could have been released years ago, possibly before Citation acquired the wells. And you can come over here to get a little closer look at Little Valley Wash on this map. Whether it's old or recent, the spill should have been reported to BLM officials, but apparently was not. And good for the journalist for saying this. Under contracts enabling companies to extract publicly owned minerals, they are obligated to report undesirable events as soon as practical because of their potential to undermine public health and safety, oil production accountability, and the environment. Any spill into a park, recreation site, stream, or other sensitive areas is considered major, requiring not a cavalier reaction, as we see here, but rather a full explanation under strict deadlines. And Crandall is laying the blame at the foot of the company, Citation Oil. The company has 24 hours, barring some pretty extenuating circumstances, to provide a written report providing a broad range of data. That did not happen, Crandall said. They are beholden to clean this up. Messages left with Citation's Houston headquarters were not returned. And important to note, the oil-tainted wash drains into Alvey Wash, which runs through Escalante and into the Escalante River. This meandering desert river flows east into the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area and Lake Powell. But of course, at least in Utah, this is the greater concern. That oil boom is leading to huge growth for Duchesne County. Duchesne County, by the way, is a seat of the Ute people, and there's a lot of problems happening amongst people in the county over the developing, quote, resource, quote, unquote, industry. By Lee Davidson, for the Tribune, the Uinta Basin oil boom has made Duchesne County the nation's second fastest growing for counties with at least 10,000 people, and Vernal the nation's sixth fastest growing micropolitan area of 10,000 to 50,000 people. That mirrors a national trend in which most of the fastest growing places are in oil and gas boom areas, according to estimates released Thursday by the U.S. Census Bureau. So, what does it boil down to? It boils down to which is more important to us, of course. Growth or our beautiful earth? The situation can hardly be presented more clearly. It really cannot be presented more clearly than this. It's 2 wolves out. Mitak Wiyasin, we are all related.